Welcome to The Dish Course, the podcast that has hot food takes,
cool food people,
and never a lukewarm moment.
If you're new here, we're a podcast where we dish and debate on the latest food trends and fads. I'm Chef Renee. I help direct a R&D culinary test kitchen, and I think smoothie bowls are just really cold gazpacho and will be treated as such. Give me a soup course at brunch, for God's sake.
That's so fair. I've never thought about it that way. I'm Cali, trends expert, nutritionist, and I think that the cookie croissant, in terms of social media sensations, is straight up a blasphemous creation.
Okay. And then my name is Chef Cam. I manage a team of R&D chefs, and honestly, and this is going to sound really crazy from being the resident gym bro, but not everything needs to be made healthy. It's okay to indulge in the real thing once in a while.
Big facts.
Yes. Great. Well, awesome. So today we have Renee Lee Wegge, and she is a trendologist and senior publications manager with Data Central. Data Central is the leading global food and beverage intelligence company. Renee literally grew up in the restaurant industry and is an expert and lover of all things related to food, drink, and the color pink. Renee has researched, written, and edited hundreds of food and beverage trend reports and has even been quoted in the New York Times. She is a regular co-host and presenter on Data Central's Simply Smarter webinars, where she's shared her expertise with peak audiences of 2,000 plus industry members. Renee, welcome to the pod.
Welcome.
Thank you. That was such a nice little intro.
We're really excited to have you.
I rhymed with
food,
that was
pink.
All right, Renee, well, it's time to spill the sauce. You're in the hot seat. How this works is I'm going to ask you a set of short form questions and you have to answer. So we're going to start with, you come home from a really big trip. What is the first thing that you're eating?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably just some, this is like really silly, but like fresh fruit or vegetables. Like, just give me a salad.
That makes sense.
Or like,
yes.
Because usually when you're traveling, just like, you know, you can get like a really expensive like custom salad or things like that. But whenever I'm traveling, I just want something fresh, you know, because a lot of times you're not getting that, or just like reach into your fridge and get like an apple or get some
And you're
strawberries.
probably dehydrated
Yeah.
from traveling. Yeah.
It's like the nutrient bar in like a video game has to like get back up by eating apples.
Power up the apples.
Right, yeah. Okay. So what do you think is one of the most overrated food trends? And this doesn't have to be a current food trend. This can be any food trend you have talked about or seen about in the history of being alive.
Oh, wow.
Your whole life, you know?
That's a lot. Let's see. Most overrated. I don't know. I think like all of the plant-based like analogs have really like, it was just, you know, plants. I love
too many plants,
you know, but like everything. And like to Cam's point, not everything has to be healthy. Not everything has to be something that looks or tastes like something else, but isn't. Like all the alternatives, like there's a good place for them, but not everything has to be recreated.
Yes.
I totally agree with that.
Cam, I
like
thought
just
you
eat
were
the
gonna...
thing
Right.
sometimes.
What is a food, either flavor or item that you desperately want to blow up?
Salted egg yolk.
Oh, yes.
Yum.
It's on track.
I've been campaigning for it for like several years, and last year it was on our like 2025 trends like flavor list, mostly because I was like, this needs to happen.
What is your favorite application for it?
I love the salted egg yolk like lava buns from Dim Sum.
Whoa.
And there's Ming Hin in Chicago has amazing ones. It has that crispy, almost like pineapple bun topping.
Oh my God, yum.
Yes.
And then the inside, like the lava literally like shoots out. And it's like creamy and sweet and salty and ooey and gooey and like every single thing that you could ever want.
I've had them before.
So
yes.
Next gen lava cake.
Okay, now last question. Got one more. Favorite meal to share with the family. So what pleases the whole table, 3-year-old Luke included?
Oh gosh, so he's 4 now.
4. Wow.
He's 4.
Gotta update the bio.
Did I put 3-nager on there? He's a 4-nager now. He was graduated to a 4-nager. But
so
right now
cute.
his current obsession is mac and cheese.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So I've been trying to like make mac and cheese, but not mac and cheese every single night or like as often as possible because I don't want to serve him the same mac and cheese every single night, but it has to be mac and cheese adjacent for him to like it.
Okay.
Same thing. He went through like a whole meatball thing. I almost made a joke at the last dot thing that I was like the entire year, my entire repertoire of like cooking was like, how do I make XYZ into a meatball? I don't know. It's a whole thing. He's very focused on specific groups of food or types.
Okay.
So like the other day I made one of my favorites, which is from like a toddler website or whatever for cooking, and it's 1-pot cheeseburger pasta.
Ooh.
So it's cheesy. It's got the pasta. It's got some like balls of meat, which is his second favorite thing.
Elevated
mac and
hamburger
cheese.
helper.
Yeah,
And then I
for
put
real.
like pickles and onions
Oh,
and
heck
tomatoes and
Yeah.
lettuce. And like actually the pickles are the best part of it. Like
That's not
or
surprising.
the refreshing contrast.
Yeah.
That might be
It's
what I
really
eat for
good.
dinner,
Yes.
honestly. That's like
Inspiration.
right now. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for playing. So,
Yes.
Callie, go ahead and take it away.
All right, we are going to do Guess That Operator. So the ways this works is I'm going to read a recent news article and then we will have to guess what operator it's about. So, in light of one of the trends that we're going to be talking through today, which is living for now, or the idea that we're seeing consumers kind of like you were saying, increasingly seek these opportunities to treat themselves with these small indulgences. This popular quick service chain operator recently launched a new dessert that's giving McDonald's a run for their money, which is also not surprising because we've seen a lot of operators struggle to face more intense competition than in the past. So just last week, the operator announced the launch of their new strawberry and cream pie poppers, which do sound delicious, but which are an extension of their pie popper line, which launched last year and happens to be very reminiscent of McDonald's strawberries and cream hand pies. So now for a limited time, consumers can get them in either a 4 or 10 count, and they're a delicious strawberry and cream filling and a crispy buttery crust. Cam, you look like you knew
Yeah.
it.
Renee,
I
I'll
have
let
a
you go.
guess.
I'll let you go first.
Who do you think
Is
it
it
is?
Popeyes?
No,
It's
Oh,
it's
'cause they've
KFC.
done like
It's
it's
KFC.
KFC.
It's KFC. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say those mashed potato poppers that they have, those are also really good. Had them recently.
Oh, true. Sweet
Yes.
and salty. But
Yes.
yeah, strawberries and cream. I know Renee, yellow hair Renee, you have a strawberry on
I do.
your
I do. I have,
vest
I
today.
have my strawberry
It's like
vest
you
on,
knew.
You know?
It's like you know. Okay, and then in an article published only 3 days ago, but also tied to another one of our trends that we'll be discussing today, which is the rise of these different viral social media sensations that we've seen proliferate at lightning speed across menus. This national quick service operator has been called out for a secret beverage menu item that is going absolutely viral, which is their cotton candy Sprite.
I know what this is.
Okay, and which very much relates to all of the creative non-alcoholic beverages or craft or dirty sodas that we've seen take off in the last few years. Apparently, the order is as simple as asking employees to add 3 pumps of vanilla to Sprite, which in my mind, I don't know how that equates to cotton candy, but consumers are going absolutely crazy for it.
Interesting. Yeah. How
Okay.
does that taste like cotton candy?
I have
Is it
no
a
So
idea.
sweeter?
cotton candy is a mystery flavor, is what I will say. That's like I think in the industry, that's how we talk about it often, because like what is the flavor of cotton candy other than just sugar that's been
Sugar.
treated a certain way?
And the color, right? It's just a
Yeah,
color. Most
exactly.
Of
It's
the time.
one of those things. I know the answer to this one if anyone else wants to guess. I was just looking at cotton
Yeah.
candy drinks yesterday.
I'll let you. Yeah, we'll let you go.
It's McDonald's.
It is McDonald's.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Go
a
get your
smart
cotton
play.
candy Sprite.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know. I was
Fascinating.
also, I just read about this yesterday, Callie, and I was like shocked because there's so many beverages like, who was it? Red Robin, I think last year did a cotton candy beverage where they served it with a dish of cotton candy on the side because you put it in yourself. Because as soon as cotton candy hits anything liquid,
It melts.
it dissolves, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then
Ooh, that's
Freddy's, they had the birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
Like mixer
Yum.
with
Birthday
cotton
cake,
candy on
anything.
it. And it was so popular that they were like trying to source cotton candy from like anywhere that they could
Oh,
because
gosh, wow.
it like blew up way more than anticipated.
All those nostalgic flavors, though.
Yeah.
I mean, just when you say cotton candy, I just thought of the cloud of
Yeah.
of sugar, and it just makes you happy, doesn't it? I don't
Truly.
know.
It does. Okay, so to get into our bread service, which is really just the context for the rest of our conversation, recently both of our Renees here traveled to Colorado to attend the Dot Food Service show hosted by Dot Foods, which is the largest redistributor in the U.S. food industry. It's an annual invite-only trade show of all the products available through Dot to help suppliers, distributors, and operators like chain restaurants, hospitals, and college and universities to network and discover new products and to also learn about up-and-coming industry trends. So at this year's show, they had an immersive experience called the Trend Explorer, which kind of was designed to inspire innovation through all of these different trends. And attendees, I'm sure you guys can tell us a little bit more about your experience, were given passports to go check out different manufacturer booths that were showcasing these different trends. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, some of the trends that were featured. And we are really excited to have you again, Renee, here. Data Central is one of my most beloved databases and resources that I use in my day-to-day work, which as a foodie is just really fun. I tell people commonly in my life about it because you can research any ingredient or food and it pulls up all of the trends related to it from
so
It
menu
really
launches. I love it.
I remember getting hired and being like, okay, this is how you do this job.
It's
then.
the best tool. I love it so much. So as we talk through these trends, I would love to hear some of maybe the booths that you guys saw at the show and what those booths were showing. So the first trend, circling back to kind of what I highlighted in one of our news stories, is living for now. So just this idea that, you know, we've seen consumers snacking more and we see them wanting these little treats. We've seen little treat culture being called out and consumers are really grasping at any chance they have to get themselves daily little treats, whether that's a beverage or a snack. So what are some of the things that you guys saw at the show? Or also, what are some of your favorite things you've seen pop up on menus that reflect this?
Circle questions. I have to say, this is probably I get asked a lot, what is your favorite trend, or what do you think is the biggest trend, right? Which is kind of like picking your favorite child. I always tell Luke, I'm like, I love you the most, but don't tell Franny, which is my dog. And he's always like, no, I'm gonna tell Franny. I'm like, baby, you can't tell Franny you're my favorite. As if, Anyway.
So real though.
It's so real. But really, I love this trend. I think it's really we've already seen, it was one of our 2025 trends last year from Data Central, our annual report. And we've already seen, we've already mentioned a few examples of operators doing this. So many other retail products, I think, are also kind of driving this home. And I really think it's, kind of the it thing right now. It's there's always health, but there's always going to be this, especially in today's world, let's just take a moment. Not everything has to be healthy, right?
Yeah.
So just indulge, live.
Yeah, have fun.
YOLO, even though I feel I say that and I kind of almost
It's
cringe
coming back.
Is it coming back? I wasn't sure.
YOLO. Just it here. YOLO's coming back.
Okay. So I'll bring it back. YOLO.
Do you have a favorite little treat that you go to?
Yeah, I have all the sweet tooth, but yeah, those chocolate covered strawberries, I said, are probably a go-to, and I do pair that with some plain Greek yogurt too.
Ooh.
Just because you get some of the fat and the protein, and then I won't eat the entire bag, the entire Costco bag of the strawberries. If I have a little bit of yogurt with it.
I was really thinking about the rise of as we were planning out this episode, the rise of little treat culture, and I always go back to, and we've talked about this in the past. And Cali, I know you were one of these people of the girl who bakes all the cupcakes for the people in high school, or the girl who brings.
That was
me. I was thinking about how cake pops paved the way.
That's a perfect example
for little treat culture, right?
That honestly is so true.
Yeah.
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 Because that's one bite and then you're off, and it's enough, and it's portable and handheld, and now we see things the birthday cake churros that were at Taco Bell. I think even like in terms of like little treat culture in general, like the KFC chicken and waffles even like really apply to this.
Well, my mindset also always goes to sweet. And I was having this conversation the other day. Like someone was asking me, like, where did all the cupcake only bakeries go? Like the cupcake craze was such a big thing.
Replaced by donuts.
Well, that, but also, I mean, in savory, we're definitely seeing those mini options come up on menus. Like we've talked about, like the mini crunch wraps at Taco Bell, or even just like bacon as a snack on menus. But bacon. You know, then we had like the rise of Baked by Melissa, which is that concept of the mini cupcakes. And that kind of was like the first iteration away from the cupcake bakeries. But then like the cake pops and all the other mini desserts and like the pie poppers came. Did anything stand out at the show related to this trend?
I mean, I would say that it's not like a prepared item, but what are they? The licorice? Is it wallaby?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they little tiny little bites of licorice.
Yeah, they had like a line to get samples
really?
At one point.
For
yeah,
licorice?
APG licorice. Yeah, I know. That was crazy to me. And I had never tried it before. And there's a reason that there was a line. It was delicious. And then we like ate that whole bag on the plane ride home.
Little treat's a big treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember one of the things that I grabbed like a full size sample of because they were nice enough to give it to me because I was like, this is delicious. That talks about this is there's a brand of, I think they're called Pop Daddies pretzels, little pretzel pretzel sticks.
Yes.
And they had a strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
That I still have downstairs and can't believe I haven't finished yet. And it's just so good. And like that little treat that is a little savory because a lot of pretzels really are savory flavored, right? But they had like birthday cake, they had the strawberry shortcake. So things like that, just a little indulgence, right? Like instead of a plain pretzel, let me have like a strawberry flavor.
Right. Well, and make it fun.
And transitioning kind of into our other trend that we definitely want to talk about, which is the rise of all of our social media sensations. I feel like a lot of these little treats have gone so viral on social media, whether that's TikTok or Instagram, because visually they are mini. And so it's this cuter form that younger consumers really seem to gravitate towards. I mean, me being case in point here, I love anything miniature. I will admit that for sure. But I think as I was thinking about this and kind of what to talk about, it's interesting that the things that we see blow up on social media are things that can very easily inspire new innovation from consumers, whether that's at home or as we see it kind of transition in different formats or flavors on menus. So like some things are rooted in the flavor. Like we know our Dubai chocolate has been taking over the world. I actually just saw a stat that said that Dubai chocolate has grown by almost 3,500% on menus in the last year, which is outrageous. And it does not seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Like we saw Shake Shack just put out the Dubai chocolate shake, which I still need to go try for Renee.
Dude, come on.
But no, I need to go try it. But it's interesting. I'm curious to hear more about like what you think about certain trends that we've seen, like the cookie croissants, which I think are blasphemous. I can get on that soapbox if we want, but what are your favorites? What are your least favorites? Like, what do you think is overhyped? And how do you guys see that influencing menus?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
This is like not an answer to it. But I feel like it'll start us off well. Okay. Is that the Starbucks unicorn frappuccino launched 8 years ago.
8?
Last year, right? And I feel like that is one of the items that like kickstarted off like social media viral sensation, like food overall.
Color,
like
galaxy, like
right.
Yeah, it's so much about the visual.
Yeah, yes. I feel like that was like, social media 0.0, right?
Yes.
Right, ground zero.
Like ground zero,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That was like the first big thing of it was like the rainbow bagels. And
my gosh.
And we started reporting on that, when that hit. And then recently, last year, we started social media sensations. So that's a report that I kind of spearheaded, like we need some data on, do consumers actually want these things, or are they just kind of cool? So we ask them, and then we have an index too of like the most popular ones and the least popular ones. So it's been a really interesting way to gauge that. At first we were kind of like, are we going to have enough, every couple of months at least to like report on this? And like, there's always something.
There's always something new.
Yeah.
What are like some of like the like recent ones that you've seen that have like made it into those reports?
Definitely Dubai chocolate. I feel like we covered it like with our first set of like the data from it. And then I do a section called like IRL, in real life, where it goes to menus or retail products. And so for that one, it was like, we covered it. And then 2 issues later, it was like, oh, here's 10 menu examples. Yeah. Or a lot of the different like takes on it. Right. So now there's like, now it's becoming the flavor and not just the chocolate, right?
Yeah. So we're seeing it in so many different formats. I mean, I saw that Costco just launched a Dubai chocolate ice cream bar.
Whoa.
Which sounds really good.
Dang.
I've seen it like stuffed in dates or like as a topping on froyo. I actually pulled from one of those reports that you worked on that it's a crazy percentage of 77% of Gen Z, so our younger consumers, do express that they've tried something specifically because they've seen it on social media. Like we know that the heavy majority of people are using social media today, but I don't think we've realized just how much of an impact it really has.
So Renee, what do you think about like, do you think there's much repeat purchase intent when it comes to things that
great
are
question.
like
It's a great question.
hyper-viral or meet that
that's
standard?
a good question. We should ask that. Like how often have you purchased something afterwards? And I think it probably depends. I mean, I think the thing with social media trends is that so much of it is like, how do you make this at home? Right? Because the Instagram and TikToks are always like, this is an easy hack. This is how you remake something from XYZ restaurant and things like that. So while so much of it does cross over into operators and like makes sense that, they're going to be on menus, like intrinsically, it's also kind of like an at-home thing, So it could be that people are like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to go try this shake. But then, oh, I can also make it with 5 ingredients at home. So I may be making it at home as well. So it's kind of hard to track, like, if we were to ask like, repeat purchase, like how many people are actually going and getting the thing really easily, and how many people are like, ooh, let me make the next viral version of this. Because that's such an allure of social media too, right?
I think that like the whipped coffee, Dalgona coffee.
Yeah.
I think that's a great example of something that started at home and then like soft launched at a few different operators, but really never like
took off.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that's because it's too labor intensive?
I mean,
it has a long hold time and freeze as well. So
although I wonder now that you say that, I know that's like one of the things that like with rainbow bagels and where it's like that kind of faded away, right? Dalgona, I would say also similarly, but I wonder if that's kind of what gave rise to all the frothy cream caps. Foam. I mean, it's very, very similar, right? I know you can't like completely correlate it, but I just got the email from Starbucks, like free cold foam Fridays or, whatever. So the cold foam, I think is, it's a cherry chai. Cold foam. Oh my goodness. That's another like
from Starbucks
treat. Yeah, from Starbucks.
Whoa.
And it's got the beautiful pink, Cali.
Ooh.
Little pink crystals on top.
Was it the color that drew you in, or was it the actual like
well, first it was the color.
Yeah.
Both can be a yes.
Both can be a yes.
But then I tried it and I like cherry. I've never been like huge on it, but I was like, let me try this, and it's delicious. And the foaminess.
Well, and cold foam, I mean, it's interesting. Like one of our other trends that we can kind of have in this conversation is like everything that's happening in coffee. And we know that one of those trends really is texture and like the textural additions of things like cold foam or even some boba, as we see kind of more globally inspired things coming onto menus. But another crazy stat to call out was the rise of cold foam, which has grown almost 2,200% on menus in the last 4 years.
Yep.
Like we're seeing it across so many different segments of operators.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's flavored, like to your point, Renee.
Yes.
I mean, even Dutch Bros, they just released their summer lineup and they have a s'mores coffee that has a toasted marshmallow cold foam on it. That
It's
just
so
sounds
easy to customize.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I've never made it, but I assume because you can flavor it, right? It doesn't have to
Yeah.
just be the regular vanilla or anything. Like you can pair it with whatever it is you want to go for.
Yeah,
and it's effective, you know.
effective and just like a premium like add-on that is like such an easy lift for an operator, whether they want to make it themselves or if they just want to buy something off the shelf. Like having done like a lot of beverage work and trying to see like what is out there in terms of, you know, those items that an operator can just grab off the shelf. Like I found one that tasted just like marshmallow, white chocolate even. I was like, oh, these are cool. And
cinnamon,
yeah, people
all
go
kinds
crazy
of
for cold
flavors.
foam. Like,
Well, it's interesting. I wonder if you guys agree with this. Like, I feel like the things that go viral in food service and then maybe kind of transition to the at-home consumer are things that are more focused on that over-the-top visual, whether it's the color or the toppings that go crazy. Because in my mind, I think about the trends that have gone the other way, like from the at-home consumer, like the specialty coffees, or I even think of like cottage cheese ice cream, shout out cottage cheese, that have transitioned into CPG products or like options on menus at certain operators, and kind of how that is different. Like I feel like those that start at home are more flavor focused, and then show up
like versus
in
visual.
food service.
It has to like you know like a rainbow bagel. That's like I mean, who's making bagels at home? Because it couldn't be.
yeah.
Especially
I know how
rainbow
to,
ones.
right, right. And it's just so much work. But if I go out and get it, that's like totally fine. I think pickles are a great example of something that is flavor forward that kind of food service has run with. I think we saw that with like the pickle martinis. Like obviously they're a thing within food service, but they blew up with folks at home. I mean, martinis in general, they're just cheap to make, easy to drink, and very savory. So we saw them kind of explode last year.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I know, right? Chris Martini. But we saw like the pickle menu launch at Popeyes that is really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I think what I'm curious to see next is chamoy pickle about to be kind of that next gen as we see more and more consumers at home finding that like really crazy colored pickle and getting that kit. Like, will we see that translate into food service, or is that too far? Thoughts?
I just texted Nevin actually with Dot. Because I saw at CVS they had like chamoy rings. You know, like the trays and things like that.
At
I like
CVS?
walked in and was like at CVS and it was like just chamoy, and I was like, that looks really good. And here's chamoy, because when I went, I did like a practice for my Toastmasters group, which you're familiar with, yellow-haired Renee. That I went and like had them taste some of these items that I was going to talk about with Dot. And it was hard finding chamoy. Like I found tahini, everything, you know, all the different. But it was hard finding chamoy, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I could have just gone to CVS unless they did that after they saw me at Dot, or I don't know."
It was that level of influence. That's like
the Renee
your phone
effect.
listening to you.
Yeah,
the Renee Data Central.
Right.
Effect. Yes.
Yes. I do have one more thing that I want to talk about with social media sensations with you guys is the rise, like debate related food, so controversial food items, talking about them online and how that makes them grow in terms of trends that we're seeing. I came across this on Data Essential when you go to the menu tracker, I think it's menu tracker piece, and it has that loading screen that shows you kind of the 4 different trends that pop up. Anyway, all is to say, pineapple pizza is one of the fastest growing entrees.
Wow.
It's up 1,600% over the last 4 years.
Really gonna get
Cam
some
is
people
like, no.
riled
No,
up right now.
I do too.
I like
I do
pineapple
too.
on pizza.
I like it
I've
too.
never hated pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
No.
But I feel like it's one of those things that's like hearsay. Like people heard that they're supposed to hate it, and so they do in in
Or like
group
first
conversations.
reaction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
And then they try it.
Sheep mentality. You gotta
She's sweet, she's salty. I can't be mad. I love pizza.
Pepperoni and pineapple on a pizza when it's like slightly on the well done side. Oh, so good. Oh, then garlic sauce on the side too. Like
obviously.
What is the hunch behind why that is now all of a sudden rising on menus?
I think it's online discourse.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, part of me is wondering if it's just like for people, it's just cool to be different. Like just to have that kind of like unconventional opinion,
edginess.
Yeah,
to it.
you
Well,
kind
also
of
Hawaiian is trending.
Yeah,
and
it has been
sweet and
Sweet and
savory,
salty, if you will.
Swalty.
It's a real term that they're calling out. Wasn't a
goodness.
me thing.
Yeah.
After spicy, we got swalty. Not
Swalty.
sure how we
I'm
feel
gonna
about
run
that.
out
I
of
though.
heard someone
words.
say profi for protein coffee.
No.
Profi?
Yes.
No.
Profi. And
Protein. Just
I
call it
was
protein
thinking about
coffee.
it, and I was
Please
like,
no.
I love protein coffee. That's something that I feel like should be on more menus.
I agree. So there's a spot
because
that
I do
live
that when I
by.
drink my coffee.
Yeah, I
I do that
by-
when I'm traveling.
The only independent operator I've ever really seen it is this spot that's called like Happy Chicago, that's in Humboldt Park here, and they offer it, and they're like they have all this signage that's like, why are you just going to coffee when this coffee could be a meal for you?
Yeah.
You're already
What are
treating
they
it like a
using as the
meal.
protein? Is it
Whey.
just powder? Oh, whey.
Okay.
Because like when I'm traveling, I will buy like a Fairlife protein shake and put it in my iced coffee. It's
That's what I do
delicious,
at
but like
home.
the chocolate one.
I cut it. I cut the protein. I usually do Fairlife as well. Although I found another one that I like even better.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's like OWYN.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I've
that
seen
It's
one.
so good.
Not even gonna
so
try and
I do
pronounce
that
that.
with half my coffee, and you're just. But I'm like, that seems like something that should be on more menus and would be fairly easy sell. You know, for anybody who has coffee.
So what's really cool is Oikos launched a protein drink line, and they have one that has 100 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Okay.
So it's already
You
got
see it a lot in retail,
right.
Like a lot of the even like Bolthouse Farms or whatever has always had their like their coffee smoothie type thing,
Right.
with protein in it.
I can't wait to see, like, I feel like, when are we going to see, like, Duncan or Starbucks? I mean, I don't know. It might be too far for Starbucks and too far away from the
What,
coffee
protein?
identity.
I don't-
yeah,
I
don't
protein.
think
I don't
would
think
be.
You
so.
don't think so?
Yeah, because
I
like
don't think so at all.
yeah, because like as someone that does regularly go to Starbucks every so often, because like when I am traveling for breakfast, and I talk about this all the time, spinach feta egg white wrap, because like they mention like on their someone's on their signage, they'll talk about like price. It'll say the calories and it'll say protein count.
So you think they'll make a protein drink because of that?
I would
Or do you-
love
Yeah.
to see it.
Well,
think
here's
that
a
would be
question
great.
for our
Yeah.
chefs here. I know that even though we've seen kind of like the rise and stagnation and also re-rise of energy that's not coffee, what, like, can you add protein as easily as like a pump of energy to a beverage in terms of
that's a good
operations
question.
for operators like a Duncan or a Starbucks? Like, would it be that easy?
It depends on like what the protein source is. Like, are we talking like a powder? Are we talking like in the case of Fairlife, like a liquid, like just like ultra processed milk? So it really kind of just depends, because like if we're thinking like protein, like my mind immediately goes to any smoothie chain. You could literally add an unflavored protein or vanilla
Yeah.
or whatever have you.
They're already
But you're
doing it.
blending it though.
Yeah, you're blending
It's
it.
the powder would be hard, but even I'm thinking like, the Profi, which I don't love that name.
Yeah.
But like you and I do, Kelly, like, you just add like a protein shake basically to the coffee.
Yeah, so I actually haven't seen a manufacturer product that is like a pumpable protein addition. And
Opportunity space.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a huge
that would be
opportunity
cool.
space. Something that is like has like a really high viscosity overall. Because I mean, Monin hadn't released their like hydrating or energy syrups. They launched those in 2020 or 2021.
I remember those. Yeah.
Right when we were starting to really talk about functional beverages and what that means to consumers, and they were showing a beer with a pump of the hydration syrup in it at Vibe, which is a beverage, adult beverage focused conference that I was at, and they were like, that
that make sense?
Right.
That's so funny.
It just cancels out. It's
right?
fine.
Yeah.
That's
so
how
you're
it works.
even.
It's like,
yeah.
That's how it works. If you have a
guiltless
donut
beer
and you have a vegetable, they just cancel each other
Yeah,
out.
totally.
I totally agree. I totally agree with
I love that mindset.
I guess
my
what would be
God.
considered like high protein, like to make that call out, like what would that
So I
number
think
be?
there's an FDA standard of identity because when we talk about 0 grams of sugar, low cholesterol, those are FDA like standards of identity. And we're seeing that more and more with protein now. So you'll see brands call out complete protein, and a complete protein means that it has all 9 amino acids that help your body totally absorb all of that protein. So there's a lot of protein options out there that your body can't actually absorb all that protein. It's very similar to like collagen and how a lot of collagen products don't have high bioavailability. So while it looks like you're getting all of these really awesome benefits, you're kind of just like peeing them out in the end because your body can't absorb them. And that's coming from the FDA changed a bunch of standard of identities from 2022 to 2024. So we're seeing them kind of go into effect now. So they changed the standard of identity for Greek yogurt. And so Greek yogurt no longer exists. It's Greek style yogurt. And that has to do with the processing and the overall protein content in order to call it that.
Interesting. Well, also, if you consume more protein than your body actually needs, it just gets converted and stored as fat.
Right.
So there's also that.
Are you calling me fat, Callie? I'm just kidding.
Cameron.
You're even calling me
That's
by
a
my
good,
full
like,
name.
I've heard that like the body can only digest so much. So even if you have like 1,200 grams of protein, like that's not gonna.
Well, yeah, that's the danger.
Maybe you'll turn into the Incredible Hulk. I don't know.
There are other macros that are important. Like your body needs carbohydrates.
Yes.
Your body has fat. I've
Needs them
mentioned
all.
this in the past, but I had a chef where every morning service she made us take shots of heavy cream in the morning because she was like, "You're not eating." She's like, "I know you guys are not eating. One, it's 6:00 in the morning. I know you're not eating ahead of this, and we need you on your A game. So you will all be having something that is high in fat with like a small amount of protein to go ahead and like kickstart your brain." And I think about that every time I put so much half and half in my coffee that it turns into
It's justified.
Do you think it helped?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
The heavy cream?
Yeah,
Really?
definitely. Yeah. So if you ever feel weird and your brain's just not working,
Eat
like
some
eat
fat.
some
Shot of
high
heavy
in
cream.
fat.
Heavy
Yeah, or
cream.
like, a stick of butter, like
Full of peanut butter
you're
is
into the
always
fat
a
pro- What's
go-to.
that called?
it's bulletproof coffee, right?
Yeah, bulletproof.
That,
Butter coffee.
That kind of faded out too.
It faded.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like also these operators are like a Duncan or a Starbucks right now. While we would love to see something like a protein coffee on their menu, I feel like right now they're still so focused on the flavor innovation. Like we've seen the global flavors and the nutty flavors and the breakfast inspired flavors. Like I know there's like blueberry muffin and donut coffee out there, which is also so reminiscent of my favorite coffee shop at home. Shout out Slave to the Grind. But I always get like a blueberry coffee cake coffee, which tastes like a blueberry muffin, and I can't be mad about that. But I mean, I feel like hopefully we will see kind of the evolution, because I do agree. I think on their food menus, they have started focusing more on those protein call outs that we know consumers are looking for, but it might not have gotten to the beverage space yet.
And it's interesting that we're talking so much about coffee because coffee was one of the other trends that was called out at the Dot Food Show.
Did you try any great coffee at the show?
So we served coffee.
Okay.
So I served 2 different coffee drinks when I was there. One was a iced coffee with cold foam that we had flavored with Mike's Hot Honey. So it was
Nice.
Stoke cold brew mixed with a salted hot honey from Mike's Hot Honey, then like sweet and creamy cold foam.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
the cold foam does a really great job supporting the honey. So we were able to get a cool drizzle effect on top. So it kind of had that splashiness to it. And the other one that we served was like a cardamom coffee. So again, talking about Turkish, Yemeni coffee flavors. So it was a cardamom, black pepper, ginger infused stoke with another cold foam, and then we topped it with more cardamom, so you got that really kind of like intense sensual experience when you're drinking it. So you're getting that hit with that aroma first, so that the flavor kind of changes as you're drinking it.
Wow.
Nice.
Should we move into our hot take?
I think
so.
Yeah.
Renee, are you
ready?
ready to give us your hot take?
I am. We kind of touched a little bit about it.
Okay.
So I think it's good. It like fits into it.
That's
Perfect.
perfect. Okay, lay it on us. What is it?
Yes.
Okay. I like the protein stuff. I think I'm a little over it.
It's fair.
Okay.
I want, and this is very heavily based on me being a mom of a toddler who will not eat anything that looks or remotely resembles a vegetable. Why are we not adding vegetables and fruit into anything possible? Put it into anything.
That's a
That's a
Because
great
you can't
hot
taste
take.
it.
That's a
Like,
great hot take.
I started seeing it at Expo West last year, and I put as like
In
one
what
of my
format?
just like a lot of the snack items, right? Or like the waffles. There's that brand of waffles that has veggies into it, and but more call outs of like, 2 servings of vegetables or
I like
whatever
that.
it might be. And I feel like that, I'm like, put it into every single snack that my son eats.
Yeah.
Because you can't taste it. I think it's kind of that next evolution of like, do we think that people are going to be tired of, yeah, I like protein, but do I need 12,000 grams of it?
Yeah.
And I think in terms of like health and stuff, like one of the big things that I think is that, a lot of times you'll hear like XYZ is really good for you. Then tomorrow, you shouldn't eat so much of XYZ.
Yeah.
And I feel like protein
Say it again.
and like produce are the 2 things that I don't think will ever be like, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
Like maybe protein, there will be like a little bit of the more of just like, do you really need all this? Like, there's other elements that you might be missing, like the fat or other nutrients.
Yeah.
I don't think, and knock on wood, I don't think anyone's ever going to be like, eat less vegetables.
I love that.
So I feel like that is a thing that is really bankable.
Yeah.
That you could really.
So I have like a couple questions, like, because like in my breakfast smoothie, I actually do have like a handful of kale, and then wild blueberries. It has to be wild blueberries. Wild blueberries.
Antioxidants.
S tier fruit. So would you say that like the combination of like fruits and vegetables like in a beverage, because we were talking about beverages, do you think that's like a cop out, or are you looking more of something that is like that your son could like pick up and just like eat as like maybe like a bar?
Like a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, anything, honestly. It's more like he's obsessed with crackers. Any sort of
like those
like
cauliflower
Cheez-Its. Like he's
crackers.
like 90% made of Cheez-Its.
Body by Cheez-Its.
It used to be Goldfish, now it's Cheez-Its.
He's grown up now. Okay,
Wow.
He can't have a little tiny goldfish.
That 3 to 4 trajectory.
Right? And things like that, or like, with the mac and cheese, I often put in a pureed cauliflower.
Yeah.
I can't taste it, or even a lot of the orange stuff. Like, I think carrot might be a little too strong for him.
Yeah, carrot's a strong
but
flavor.
a sweet potato, butternut squash.
Yeah.
There are some brands that have that in a cracker form, a little bit, but I don't know, like,
I feel like we were like,
we could all use this as well.
We were doing that for a while too.
Well, that's what I was
feel
gonna
like.
say.
Like cauliflower was in everything, and cauliflower pizza crust. That's one of those things that I feel like started at home and now is like available at different operators, and so I feel like they were like move over vegetables because of COVID and people eating like gluten again and eating more carbs again, and then like that fully went to the wayside, because cauliflower was being used as an inclusion to cut calories and gluten more than it was to be a vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
A serving of a vegetable, which is kind of interesting. And we've gone away for that. I love the hot take of like move over protein. It's time for vegetable infused things to come our way.
Well, similarly, I'm curious as to if you can explain a little bit more, like Cam was asking, like, other than snacks, I mean, because I think in the food service industry, what we have been seeing, and I know we spoke about this a little bit earlier, so we're kind of coming full circle here, but like in terms of plant-based options, and it doesn't have to be a plant-based option, but we did see the rise of all of those plant-based analogs that were mimicking meat, but made from soy or mushrooms or different things.
I don't know if people really thought about that as plant.
No, for sure. But I was about to say, like, now in the last couple of years, we've seen a shift completely away from those, not completely, but largely away from those back to what used to be just a normal veggie burger, which is like operators are menuing a plant-based burger that's black bean and sweet potato and cauliflower or whatever. We saw that at Chick-fil-A because consumers do want to see that it's that whole ingredient option as opposed to something highly processed. So I feel like in food service, we definitely are seeing a bit of that shift. But I guess what are other things that could include more fruits and veggies? Like I remember way back in the day, like brownie recipes that had hidden
baked
vegetables
goods
in them for children.
Yeah, and like a lot of that, like you said, is kind of like packaged stuff. But even like even muffins or like pancakes, a lot of the breakfast, waffles and things like that. If you do kind of like a, again, even though not everything has to be healthier, but some things could be, right?
Yeah,
or like
I agree.
There's a good alternative.
For kids,
like if there's like a cauliflower or not cauliflower, carrot cake like waffle for your breakfast.
Oh my God.
Right?
So
and it just has like basically the only thing my son will knowingly eat that has a vegetable that he can kind of see is my mom's zucchini muffins.
My mind immediately went to zucchini bread, like zucchini adjacent for some reason.
So I have a question, because there's a big difference between what can we pack with fruits and vegetables where it's hidden and gets you those nutrients, as opposed to something specifically for children like your son that is going to help introduce them to this ingredient in a way that they're going to like.
So like hiding vegetables versus carrot cake, zucchini bread, things that classically have vegetables in them.
Yeah.
I think there's room for both. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I see like the things that are like, don't sneak veggies into your kids, blah, blah, blah. Like they deserve to know what they're eating. And I'm like, well, if he asks me what's in it, I will tell him. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I'm at that point where like I just want
anything
him to
goes.
Have those nutrients, And
it's also like he's not getting them elsewhere, right? I'm not a parent, but I'm like that's so offensive to be like, no, they have to know exactly what's in it, because we don't regular consumers don't know. We don't know what's in our food all the time. If you just want your kid to be eating a vegetable, that's not devious. It's not like traumatic.
So what are some things that your son commonly eats aside from Cheez-Its
and mac and cheese
and cheese that you wish were more nutrient dense?
Well, even like a meat. So I know I talked about meatballs and stuff, but like meatballs, I used to be able to like
that's easy.
Pureed cauliflower or something like that. Seems like it would be easy. Or like we did a lot of the before like the what did they call them? Not the half burger, but the blended burger.
That was like a huge trend for a minute. That was
big for a little bit, but like even meatballs or things like that, where like even just me as a consumer, again, like when I am traveling and I come home and I just want some veggies and stuff, like I don't need it to be like I don't normally go and like just order a salad. But like why, like I feel like most people would be like, oh, it's a meatball but there's some veggie in it. Cool. Like that's easy for me, I'm
gonna eat, we talk about this a lot, but like permissible indulgence. So I'm gonna eat more of that because it's good for me and feels
the better
like
for you
it's very
version.
Delicious. I'm gonna go back and get another cinnamon roll because it was Greek yogurt icing instead of just like regular icing. That kind of thought.
A lot of those like swaps that just make a lot of sense, and like even Greek yogurt. Like I'm a big fan of that, and like a lot of things like parfaits. Like why aren't parfaits made with Greek yogurt? I don't know if it's because of a technical like it's harder to keep. You would think because first it's more expensive. Like there's things that sometimes I'm like, I wish this X, Y, and Z, and then I realize, well, there are probably reasons for it, right?
Right, but like if we figured out other stuff, if we figured out how to make a hamburger bun, only 70 calories and 1 carb, like we could be figuring other things out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Facts.
Or 60 grams of protein without like chicken breast. You're right. We can figure some things out.
Okay. So
Cam.
Renee, what is your like dream food
Yeah.
to either have eating out, like you and your son are going out, or just you are going out, you know, either at an operator or CPG, that would have that kind of full serving of veggies in it? Like what is the dream?
Yeah, I would think like a meatball.
Easy.
Because he's big on a meatball. And I feel like that's a very like common thing. Because like even at all the pasta restaurants, you could add meatballs. You know, I don't know if you would call it I would hesitate to call it like a veggie meatball because to me it would still have meat.
Well, it could be that blended meatball.
Yeah.
A blended meatball, or even like pasta sauce, right? Like a lot of that, like that's good. He's getting his veggies in a pasta sauce, but
Or both.
you know, you can add some of those purees. And I had one of the brands has like a hidden veggie, and they call it hidden veggie.
Yeah.
And I like that one a lot because he couldn't taste the difference, but like. Even if you go to an operator and you're like, yeah, I want the veggie pasta sauce, and it just has added veggies for you, call that out, you know, like to me, it's like, it seems like a good win for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is exciting for me because at one of the restaurants that I used to work at, and this is the combination of like fruit and protein is like very prevalent in very specific like cuisine types. Like my mind immediately goes to like Native American like cuisine, where you'll see like things like elk, venison paired with like your wild berries. One of the sausages that I made during one of my times at a restaurant was venison and blackberry. That was obviously venison's like a little like much for children.
A little out there.
But
a little gamey.
there is something there. Like you can easily do something like a cherry or like cranberry. Apple probably is one of the easiest ones that you
Chicken
can
apple
do.
sausage.
Chicken apple sausage. Like basically what I'm hearing is that I've got to make some sort of like kid like health. I'm going to put healthy in air quotes. Healthy like pasta and like meatball dish is like what I'm kind of hearing. Like I can have a lot of fun with this because
So recipe lab time.
Recipe lab.
Cameron.
Yeah, kids love pasta. So I mean, does your son have a favorite pasta shape?
Well, so since he's into the mac and cheese stuff, he does like and of course, you know, you can't get the, you know, regular mac and cheese, like noodles just by themselves.
Elbows.
So he does like the swirly, like
cavatappi.
Yeah.
I also struggled to say that word.
Yeah. It's a great
my favorite pasta.
It's a great shape. He likes that, and he likes a regular spaghetti.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I've done bucatini, and everyone like asks me, "Oh, where did you get that?" And like,
It's just bucatini.
my brother, and I'm like, "Oh, it's bucatini." But Luke is like, "No, this is too thick."
I feel that.
And he's like, I don't know what this is, mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Does your son have a preference? Does he like chicken, beef, pork, like turkey, like
Beef and pork.
beef and pork? Okay.
Yeah.
And then any favorite fruits and vegetables?
So that's the thing. He doesn't eat a single fruit or veggie, like except for like he used to be big on applesauce. He did do the chicken apple sausage at one point.
So it sounds like you might have to go the hidden route.
Apple chip has done before, but really no.
All right.
You know, and he sees the green in the zucchini muffin,
and he's okay with that.
I'm shocked that he's okay.
Oh no,
with
but
that
he
one.
likes it. So
He likes it,
What
yeah.
is mild in flavor?
Oh, you're asking? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Asking me? Okay. In terms of fruits or like vegetables? Sorry.
Well, either.
Yeah.
Like, what could you hide in there?
So what's funny is that like I inherently already kind of do what we're talking about just because I like meal prep, because I mean this is very common, like people that kind of just like cook for a living, like I'm okay with eating the same thing multiple times a day is what I'm trying to say. Renee can attest to that.
It's true. I don't agree with this. I think it's easier when you live alone. Is what my thought is to do this. But
that's also
like Cameron
me.
will be like he'll roll up with like 15 chicken thighs and then grill them on his lunch break and be like, this is the food for the week.
Easy.
I can't do that either. That's
Resident gym bro.
I need at least 2 options.
Right.
Yes.
At least like, alternate a little.
But what I'm feeling is I really like the obviously cauliflower is good, relatively mild in taste. Obviously tomatoes are like a very easy thing. Definitely staying away from any kind of pepper. From what I've done in my own just like testing is just like bell peppers have a very strong flavor.
They do.
So I would say like some type of tomato bait, like I feel like we have to just keep this relatively simple. Like if this is for a kid, like I'm not trying, like I just want it to ultimately taste good, be healthy, but then not be so adventurous to the point where it's like they don't want to eat it. But then also just being open to them being like, if they notice like a green speck of like, I don't know, like a fresh herb or something in the meatball, they might ask like, oh, what is this? It's like, just be open and then let them taste it, all that. So yeah, definitely either spaghetti or cavatappi, some type of tomato-based sauce with a blended vegetable in it. For fun, because we were talking about heavy cream, I will make this a little bit on the richer side, just for that touch of like velvety smoothness. We do need a little bit of cheese. Can't neglect the cheese. We need Parmesan or Pecorino, what have you.
Cam, can I challenge you with this?
Yeah.
To make a kid version and then the same base, like add 1 or 2 things to make the
Adult version,
the thing that feels more exciting, like so that everyone at the table can look like they're eating the same thing. But is there like an additional flavor component? Like, is it chili crisp marinara for like the adult plate? Like, what are those like little things that you add that like make it more exciting for adults?
I can do that. That's easy. I think, yeah.
That's
and then
easy.
the meatball, you said pork and beef, definitely add some like, I like the idea of like adding apple in there, apple garlic, probably add some cheese. Like there definitely has to be some sort of vegetable in there. I like that we were talking about a blended burger. We can definitely add some mushrooms in there.
What about like turnips?
Turnips? That's
they're
interesting.
really mild, I feel like
Are they
honestly,
blendable? I haven't blended a turnip before.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything's blendable.
Anything's
but I'm like,
blendable.
I mean, like, what?
I'm like,
I don't even
if you
think-
believe it.
right.
I think for me, like because like when I make meatballs, like I'll go of one of 2 routes. I'll either like for the onion component, I'll like either shred it and like make it smooth to just add a little bit more moisture in the meatball, or I will dice it and then just like saute it. So like if I was gonna go down that route, I would just treat the turnip like that. And just saute it. So it's in there. I'll probably, it'll kind of basically just be like, air quote, duxelle in the meatball.
Air quote.
Yeah. Duxelle with turnips, onion. I like that call out. Yeah. So I think we got the recipe. Yeah.
We got it.
We got the
Yeah.
recipe.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, Cam, sounds like you have your homework set out for you. I'm very much looking forward to this. So before we wrap up, Renee, do you have anything to plug, any webinars, anything like that coming up that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Ooh, yeah. Always catch us every second Thursday. So tomorrow I have a webinar for Data Essentials Simply Smarter. They're free. They're entertaining. We'll try to emulate this because this is an amazing little trio. I've always I need to listen to more of your actual podcast, like the actual like whole thing. But I've heard snippets and it's just so fun. Like
That's what we're going for. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check those out. I'll be on tomorrow talking about summer trends. So looking forward to that. And yeah. Reach out, find me on LinkedIn,
All the
reach out to
things.
Data
Yeah,
Essential,
all the things. Yeah. And the Data Essential webinars, I know we have listeners who are not necessarily in the food service industry, but I think that they're just fascinating for anyone
They
who
really
eats.
are.
And so if you're not, like, if you started this podcast not knowing who Data Essential is, I hope you ended being a fan because Renee has provided so many resources that help us so much in our day-to-day work that we could not do what we do without a software like this, without webinars like this. So we are so appreciative that you took the time out of your day to come and chat with us, offered all your opinions. This has been amazing.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored. I'm like, I'm gonna be famous.
Yeah, you are.
I'm counting on it. That's the only reason I do this.
We're taking it to our
Taking it on the road, guys. All right. Well, that's it for today. If you're liking the show, please take a second and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. If you're on YouTube, we love comments, so drop them down below. And if you're listening on the podcast app of your choice, leave us a rating and review. We're always hungry for feedback. Stay tuned for our next episode that comes out 2 weeks from today. And until next time, no matter what the trends are, keep it delicious. Thanks, guys.
Peace. Bye-bye.
Bye.